welcome to Catholic Home Life. My name is Lindsay and I was tagged by Michelle from A Common Life. That's her channel and I'll have her channel linked down below. She tagged me for something that's going around in the Catholic YouTube world called the Catholic tag. So it is 10 questions. So I'm just gonna answer these questions and it's kind of just a chit chat video, so I hope you enjoy. The first question is, are you a Cradle Catholic? If not, how long have you been Catholic? I am a Cradle Catholic and my mom was also a Cradle Catholic. My dad was not, and he had a conversion experience when I was in my older teen years. And I have a video all about his story, which is an amazing miracle in our life. And I'll have that linked up in the cards and also down below in case you're interested in learning more about his conversion, because it was totally amazing. The second question is, what is your favorite Bible verse and why? And there's so many amazing Bible verses out there. The whole Bible is amazing. The one that I kept coming back to was from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, and it's verse 22 and on, and it's all about being anxious and worried. I just love thinking about God our Father and his love for us and how he wants to care for us. He wants to provide for us, but he wants our trust and for us to not be anxious about all these things. So that verse always gives me great comfort because I'm just a true believer in abandoning our wills to God because he knows best. And we don't know best, and we can have all these plans for our lives, but he might have a different plan. And so I think that we should always be wanting to align our will with his will, and that is how we will have the best life possible. The third question is, what is your favorite Christian song and why? And my favorite hymn to be sung like at Mass is "O God, Beyond All Praising." And I might have heard that when I was younger, but I didn't really hear the words, I think, until I was actually in Rome and I was in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. And we were there for my husband's cousin. He was being ordained as a deacon, and the ordination was inside St. Peter's Basilica. And they sung that hymn, "Oh God, Beyond All Praising," and it was amazing. And ever since then, I have loved that song, particularly the verse that says, "And whether our tomorrows be filled with good or ill, we'll triumph through our sorrows and rise to bless you still." And I always cry when we get to that part of the song. I have to like really try to not cry when we sing it at Mass, because you never know what tomorrow will bring, whether it's good or ill, but even still, you're called to be faithful to God, even if it's good or bad. And actually, there's another song that I wanted to mention that I really like, and this is more of a contemporary Christian song, and it's called "Hills and Valleys" by Torrin Wells. And it kind of is very similar because in the chorus of that song, it says, "On the mountains, I will bow my life to the one who set me there. In the valley, I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there." And so it's just talking about how our life is full of mountains and valleys, hills and valleys. And like the hills are the good parts of your life and the valleys are obviously the hard parts in your life. But God is there on the hills and in the valleys. And so I just love both of those songs because it's just all about giving your life to God no matter what comes. Hi, Damien. Want to say hi? Hi. Say hi. Can you say, "I just turned 2 years old"? 2 years old. Did you get the mail? Do you have the mail? Yeah. I see you later. Love you. The fourth question question is, what is your favorite thing about church and Mass? And my number one favorite thing is the Eucharist, our Lord's body and blood, and that He loves us so much that He wants to be with us intimately. I am just very humbled by that, and I love the Eucharist. And then I also wanted to add another thing, that my second would be the unity that Mass gives for all of us Catholics throughout the world. And I really felt that when I've traveled to other countries and when I go to Mass in other countries, even if it's spoken in a different language, there's still the liturgy of the Word and the liturgy of the Eucharist, and it's familiar. That's because the Catholic Church is the universal church. It's for everyone in the world, no matter where you live. And in the Roman Catholic Church, we are all reading the same readings. So from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Gospel, it's all the same wherever you go around the world. So I just love that unity that we have. And I also love the unity not only with everyone that's alive, but also something I think a lot of people don't consider is that when you go to Mass, it is the prayer for all Catholics living and departed. So the church militant who is still alive, we are all going to Mass. And then the church penitent, who are the souls in purgatory, they are worshiping God at Mass. And then the church triumphant, they're worshiping God at Mass. So we have communion of the saints. We are all together worshiping together. So I really love that unity that we can experience when we go to Mass. We get to be spiritually with everyone in the world and with every Catholic that has ever lived. The fifth question is, what do you think is the biggest misconception about Catholicism? And this kind of reminds me of the quote from Fulton Sheen. He says, "There are not 100 people in the United States who hate the Catholic Church, but there are millions who hate what they wrongly perceive the Catholic Church to be." And I think that that's so true, that most of the misconceptions are misconceptions. They're not true, and people just don't understand what the church truly teaches. So if you have any misconceptions about the church, go directly to the sources, which would be the Catechism, the Bible, or also go to the doctors of the church who are saints. And these saints in particular have done extensive research and prayer and writings. They've done a lot of writings about the teachings of the church, and it clarifies different teachings of the church. So I would just suggest to go to those places. There's also some great modern apologists who know so much about church teaching. So go to all of those tried and true places to get your information about the Catholic Church, and you'll find the truth there. So anyway, there's so many misconceptions. I think Mary is one, idol worship would be another. But what I think is the biggest one is that the Catholic Church is exclusive and hard. Like, it's hard to be Catholic, which I think it's hard to be Christian. Like, it isn't an easy path to walk because it involves dying to yourself. But the Catholic Church, she is the church for everyone. Kind of like I was talking about earlier, like it's the universal church. It's for any believer of Jesus. You will find truth in the Catholic Church, and you'll find God's love in the Catholic Church. You might have to change some things about your life. Like if you're not following the commandments of our Lord, then that might be a challenge. But I think by converting and by changing your life, you will find the fullness of life. And actually it made me think of, in the Bible, in the Gospel of John, Jesus, this is from chapter 8, John chapter 8, verse 31. Jesus then said to the Jews who had believed in him, "If you continue in my word, You are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So the Catholic Church, it's open to everyone, but in the Catholic Church, you will find the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts because it means that we have to change different parts of our lives. So that is the painful part. But once you go through that process of conversion, you will have so much joy and so much peace in your life. So I just think that that's really important. And it's a misconception that the church is truly welcoming and truly open to all the people of God. We are all creatures of God, and we're all children of God, and He wants all of us. He loves all of us. And I think that that message isn't put out there enough. The sixth question is, what is your favorite way to pray? My favorite way to pray is by going to adoration. And I had a holy hour before we moved to, earlier we moved this summer. And I was closer to the church, so it was just easier to get to the church to have a weekly holy hour. And just as a mom, I love having a holy hour because it's quiet. Normally during my day, I don't have a lot of quiet time. So having that hour during the week that I can rely on was just wonderful. And I haven't had a consistent hour since we've moved, and that's something that I've been kind of longing for. And there is a church that's kind of near us that we don't normally go to, a Catholic church. But I tried to get a holy hour there, and they said because I wasn't a registered parishioner that I wasn't able to have my own holy hour, which I kind of disagree with, because the Catholic Church is everyone's church and everyone should be able to pray in the church and have a holy hour in the church. So anyway, that's another topic, but I'm hoping at some point very soon that I will be able to have some sort of reliable holy hour, because really I love having that alone time with our Lord and that peace and quiet with God. That's where I can really think and pray. So obviously I pray throughout the day, but my favorite way to pray is in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Number 7 is, who are your favorite saints? And I love all the saints, and pretty much every time I read one of the lives of the saints, I love them. I like them. So, but my favorite current saints are Saint Augustine. I read the Fulfillment of All Desires, and I did a video about that I could link for you down below. But in that book, the author talks a lot about the life of Saint Augustine, and his story, his conversion is so inspiring. And I just love that he came from such a low place. He had such a hard life and had a really hard time having a conversion and really turning his life over to God. But he did, and so much has come from his life. And so many people, so many intellectuals have been inspired by St. Augustine. So anyway, I really love his story, and his whole conversion story is really beautiful. And then one of my other favorite saints is Saint Therese of Lisieux. I've always liked her, but I kind of felt like she was so popular, everybody liked her. But lately I've been reading more and more about her life, and her parents and just her whole family and her story and her little way. And really, it's just all so inspiring. So I really like Saint Therese of Lisieux. Number 8 is, what is your confirmation name? And I chose Agnes, after Saint Agnes. And I chose her because she's kind of a saint of purity, and that's something, when I was a teenager, that's when I was confirmed. And that was just something big in my life, was that I wanted to be chaste and I wanted to be pure. And so I decided to kind of have her be my patron, my patroness, because I wanted her to help protect me in that part of my life. Question number 9 is, did you have Mass at your wedding? Yes, we did, because we wanted to start out our marriage on the right foot, which we believe is by having Mass, because it's the best prayer that you could ever have. And we just wanted to offer our married life to our Lord, and through the Mass, that was just the way to go for us. So we had a Mass, and we got to pick all the hymns, our favorite hymns and our favorite readings for Liturgy of the Word. And I will put some pictures in from our wedding, because I think it was really beautiful and I love to look back and remember. And so that's number 9. Then number 10 is, do your children have biblical or saint names? They all do. Our oldest is 9. His name is John Vianney, and he's named after Saint John Vianney. Our second is 7 years old. His name is Peter, and he's named after Saint Peter Julian Emard from France. And then our third child is our daughter Gianna. She's almost 5, and she's named after Saint Gianna Molla, who was a mother and a doctor. And then our fourth child is Saint, well, he's not a saint yet, but our fourth child is Damien, and he's just turned 2, and he's named after Saint Damien of Molokai. And I actually did a video all about the saint names that we chose for our children, where I went more in depth on that. So I will have that linked everywhere up in the cards down below. And we are actually pregnant with twins. If you haven't watched my recent videos, we just found out that we knew I was pregnant, obviously, but we didn't know we were having twins. So we found out when I was like 18 weeks pregnant, and now I'm 21 weeks pregnant, almost 22. So we haven't known for very long, but we found out that we're having twins, and they're 2 boys. And so now we're trying to think of what would be good saints for these 2 boys, patron saints for them, and who we could name them after. So it's kind of hard, because we have 3 boys already, and we've picked the saints that we really love. And there's more, obviously. There's more saints. There's good ones. But anyway, so if you have any ideas that would be good for 2 twin boys and their saint names, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always like trying to get ideas and advice. So yeah, if you have any ideas, let me know. Those are all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I would like to tag Laura from What Laura Likes. I went through her channel. I don't think she did this video yet, this tag. So I'm tagging her, and I think if you have a Catholic YouTube channel, you are welcome to participate in this tag. It's kind of open to anyone to do it. So I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video. God bless you. Bye.